got right back to work yesterday, did a lot of film work, got in the gym and got shots. We haven't been shooting the ball, never been shooting the ball very well over the past 3 games. So yesterday was a day about ourselves, getting our confidence back, making some minor adjustments offensively, but just really getting back in the gym, getting comfortable, seeing the ball go through the net, get some shots up, and then, we have today and tomorrow to prepare for the Nebraska game.
Corey, let's go ahead and begin with you. Justin Morgenstein, you'll be on deck, then Ben Jones.
Hey, good afternoon, Jim. What do you think has happened with the shooting? I mean, you've got good shooters, and you've been able to get some games in now because you've talked about playing games. So what's happened with the shots not going down for the last week or two?
I don't know. I think part of it might be a little bit of fatigue. I think we're playing some really good teams, been guarding us well. I think we've gotten good shots. I don't think we've really had many bad shots. We've gotten some good shots. So I think, now it's just making sure you're following through, you're shooting the ball with confidence. So it's the last 3 games, 2 of which were on the road. Normally you shoot worse on the road than you do at home. But again, I don't think it's anything that we're going to, stress out over. It's not something that you're going to yell at them about. It's not an effort thing. It's more about, let's get our confidence back. Let's see the ball go through the net. Let's continue to take good shots. The one thing I talked about to the team yesterday is we definitely need a little bit more movement within our offense, a little bit better spacing within our offense. And then to me, shooting is all, shot preparation. So I think we just got to do a better job with our shot preparation and our footwork.
Thanks, Coach. Justin Morgenstein, let's come to you next, and then Ben Jones, you'll be on deck.
Jim, moving forward, when you guys are in the late stages of the second half and you're in a position to win or lose a game, how do you and your players both not let what's happening creep in your mind and just take the scenario and live in the present?
Well, that's exactly what we do. You live in the present. And again, we don't really have a true go-to guy in our program like we did last year, where everybody in the country knew the ball was going to Lamar and we're going to play off of that. So with us, it's more about who's playing well and what do I see during the game? What do we see that's open? What did we see that worked prior to that last shot? And then, come on, guys, you guys have all watched the game. We've gotten really good shots in late game situations. We're playing every game to win. There's not a second in our mind that our guys are thinking about playing not to lose. And that's what you have to do. You just got to be aggressive, you got to be relentless, and you got to play the game of basketball. And I think we're doing a good job of that.
Thanks, Coach. Ben Jones, let's go to you next, and then Nate Bauer.
Jim, I'm curious, with the play that Miles had off basically the double screens from John seems like the perfect example of you get a great look and then it just doesn't fall. What is sort of the coaching solution to that issue? Or is there a certain extent to a point where you get where your hands are tied, they're either going to make these shots or they're not?
Well, you got to focus on what you can control. I talk to the guys about that all the time. And the focus on what you can control is the execution, which I think they did an excellent job on. We execute, got a good shot. And then focus what you can control, like getting in the gym, making those shots, earning the right to make the shot, putting in the extra time. So I think with all our guys, and again, like I was saying, shot preparation. As I spoke to a couple guys yesterday and we watched some film, just little things to try to help them. But, shooting is something that you can't really overanalyze. You can't make it into a mental thing because then it'll go the other way. Shooting is about confidence. We're all good shooters. I think you have to instill confidence. And like I say to all these guys, you better shoot the next one. You know what I mean? I'll take you out if you're not going to shoot the next one because you're thinking about it too much. Like, you got to shoot the next one. Shooters shoot. Basketball players make plays, and that's what we have to do.
Nate Bauer, let's come to you next. Then Peter Terpstra, you're on deck.
Jim, what's your psychologist's approach to playing an opponent that hasn't had success?
Hey, man, we've all been that team, right? We've all been that team. So, I don't know, what was it, 2 years ago? What were we, 0-9, 0-10 to start Big Ten play? And we got the bye in Big Ten tournament. Like, these are all Big Ten players. We were all Big Ten teams. This year has been, extraordinary with everything that's going on. So you have to play the game. These are really good players. They play hard. They try to confuse you a little bit defensively. Like, you got to play basketball. I don't care who you're playing. And if there's anybody in our program that's walking on his court and saying, well, they haven't won, that's insane. Like, this is Big Ten basketball, man. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. So, like I said the other day, whoever plays well is going to win the basketball game. Because everybody's just too good. So I don't think there's any psychology behind it on my end. That's for sure. I'm a mess before every game. I'm always doom and gloom, like how are we going to win one game, and that's what you got to focus on. Just got to play well that game. We're going to prepare. We're going to look at their strengths. We're going to look at their weaknesses. Our strengths, our weaknesses, and we're going to prepare like every other game. Then you got to go out and make plays. And whoever plays well on Sunday is going to win that basketball game.
Thanks, Coach. Peter Turkster, let's come to you for a question. Tanny and Moose, you're on deck.
Hey, Coach. Getting late in the season, chasing the postseason, all those things can maybe ramp up the pressure for in a college kid's head. Do you guys do anything to try and keep their mind off of basketball at any time? Is that beneficial?
Yeah, it's definitely beneficial. The problem is, and I won't call it a problem, the issue this year, because of the pandemic, we really haven't been able to do much team bonding stuff. Like normally we'd, have dinner at my house, or we'd go bowling, or we'd play, do something as a team together. And you're really not allowed to do that. Like we can practice, even our film sessions have to be separated. So they don't want us around each other as much off the court. So it's been difficult doing that stuff. But yes, so yesterday, we could have come in and practiced really hard, right? We lost the game and everybody's mad. But no, to me, it was more about, fresh minds, fresh bodies, mental health. Let's get in the gym, get around each other. Let's get shots up. Let's get guys back feeling comfortable. Because you got to clear your head some way. And it's just different times, because normally we'd leave the gym and guys can go hang out with their friends, right? Or go see their girlfriend, or, go downtown and have dinner and do something. They can't do that stuff. So it's been tough. And we talk about it all the time about the mental health of our guys, is really trying to make sure that, that they're okay. And we try to do our best with it in everything we can do.
Kenny Moose, let's come to you for a question, and then we'll go to Corey Geiger.
Hi, Coach. Going up against Nebraska, they have one of the premier scoring guards in the league, and Teddy Allen. When you're going up against a guy like that who's consistently put up points every game, do you focus on more so trying to stop him, or just trying to limit everyone else scoring and letting him kind of get his share?
Well, the adjustments we've made, I think you've seen it. It's working. It's more, we got to defend as a team, so it's all five guys guarding the ball. Teddy's a fantastic player, and he's big, he's versatile, scores in a multitude of ways. So, our game plan has to be focused more on team defense, not only the man guarding him, making sure we're in position, we're in gaps, we're ready to help. But this is a team, they got a bunch of guys that can score the ball in a lot of different ways too. It's not like they're just like, this guy's just a shooter, this guy's just a driver, this guy's just a post up. They got guys that are pretty versatile. So it's really going to have to be a really tight team mentality to defend Teddy and their whole squad.
Corey, let's come over to you. Ben Jones, you've got the follow-up question.
Jim, what's this season been like for you personally? You weren't a head coach for 3 years, and then you get this, and I know you're just doing your job day to day, but how different, fun, whatever, what's this been like for you?
It's certainly been different because of obviously all the other stuff that's going on with the pandemic and kids and taking care of everybody. But ultimately, it's really been fun, and it's really given me a sense of purpose. Having that time during the pandemic where you're just locked in your home and you can't do anything. Like when we were able to get into the gym, it's, hey man, this is what I've been doing since I've been like 10 years old. Like I've always been a part of a team. I was a player, I was a coach. So we have great kids. So I'm getting on the court every day. And man, do I cherish it. I cherish it. Like when practice is over, I'm exhausted. I'm wiped out because I'm just giving everything I have for these guys and for practice. They're giving us everything. How lucky are we, right? Like everybody else still has to stay in their house. They really can't do stuff. We at least have that escape to do something that we love. So, it's been enjoyable. Has it been stressful? It's always stressful as a coach, right? Because you're always worried about everybody else and making sure that I woke up last night at 3 o'clock in the morning with some stupid idea to everybody else in the world. But to me, it was probably pretty important, making sure that our guys knew that we had to do a certain thing tomorrow. And I couldn't get back to sleep, but I was so anxious to get back in here. So, it's not really a job to me. It's who I am. It's what I do. I'm just so lucky. And then come on, man, I'm around John Harrow every day. like I know I keep saying stuff like that, but that's awesome. And Jamari Wheeler and his team, like it's really, for as crazy as it's been, as stressful as it's been, how up and down it's been, it's still, I think I'm so lucky right now, and I'm trying to enjoy every day of it.
Thanks, Coach. Ben Jones, what can you ask where we can even get a better answer?
It's all order. I'm going to ask you about the tournament, and I know you're focused on Sunday and all the things that are going to make you not want to answer this question, but there's a very good chance that you're going to finish the season at or around 500. Maybe you'll win every game. I don't want to say that that's impossible, but maybe you win every game, and you have a lot of quad one wins, and someone's going to say, these guys aren't 500. How can we put them in the tournament? What is the elevator pitch for the schedule that you have and the wins that you've picked up and might pick up that says maybe this is the year to sort of buck the trend of what you have to be a tournament team?
Focusing on Nebraska. I'm only kidding. I'm not going to do that to you. No, Bill Belichick. No, listen, man. I'm not changing. Like it's one day at a time. Like the one thing that is great about being in this league is multiple things. But guys, we've got a ton of opportunity ahead of us. Every game is opportunity. So we just have to really focus one day at a time. Like, okay, let's focus. Let's shoot the ball better today. Let's focus on getting better, whether it's in practice situations, game preparation, whatever it may be. Focus on getting better. Hey, listen, we don't even know how many games we have left, right? We could add 2. That have to be made up. We could lose another game here. I don't know. Like that's the type of year it's been. So to focus on anything but what's in front of you right now, I think would be an injustice. We could win every game. We could lose every game. We could get to, I'll be honest, I don't even really know how many games we got left. I have to look. Because you just, it'll take care of itself. It'll take care of itself. And then if people want to talk about, 500 record, well, you want me to get on my platform and politic for it, I'll do it. All right. Toughest schedule in the country, toughest schedule ever, our numbers, all that stuff. Okay, but I'm not the one making the decision on who gets to the NCAA tournament or not. The selection committee does that. And the best thing that we can do is focus on ourselves, focus on getting better, and then when the smoke clears, like I said before, who's our matchup in the Big Ten tournament? Okay, let's not forget about that, right? There's a Big Ten tournament. You make a run in that too, special things that happen. So I think we just have to stay and do exactly what we've been talking about doing and don't change it now.
If there was a tie for great answers, I think we would have had them in the last 2 questions. Evan Patrick, let's come to you for a question for Coach Ferry, Nate Bauer, Tanyan Luce, and then Corey will wrap it up with you.
Hey, Jim, we've all seen how dominant Myron Jones can take over games for stretches on the offensive end, but then I feel like for some portions this season he's kind of faded out of the picture, not been as involved. Do you think he's ever too passive for the dominant scoring stretches he can show?
Yeah, I talked to MJ about that. I talked to him about being more aggressive. MJ is such a good kid, and he's such an unselfish player. Like, he's not trying to be a selfish basketball player. He's trying to play off of everybody else. Guys have been real physical with him. You watch the way the teams are really guarding, a lot of holding, a lot of physicality with him. And I've actually been talking to the officials about that. I think it's, some of them are fouls. And he just has to let the game come to him. I think that's when he's at his best. When MJ is going to try to force, or anybody tries to force things, usually it's not great. I think when he just plays with the flow and lets the game come to him, he can be a dynamic scorer. And then some of it's on me, like try to get him in better positions. We try to get him the ball in different spots.
Nate, let's come over to you. Tanyan Luce, Corey Geiger, and then maybe we'll try and squeeze in another question from Evan.
Jim, what is the status of the Michigan and Nebraska games, and more broadly, can you how does that work? Are the conversations with the Big Ten? Are they with the individual teams? Where is that process?
Yeah, good question for people that don't know. The Big Ten, they control it all. They communicate with all the teams. They've done a great job of it. Listen, man, I wouldn't want to be the scheduling guy this year. That's been unbelievable. And they've done a fantastic job. They communicate with the administration of each school and the coaches, and they try to figure out. See, what people don't understand is just because you think okay, us and Nebraska have to play. Well, there could be 5 other schools involved with the movement of the schedule. So everybody's got to be involved in it. So it's a really, really difficult challenge, especially when you had, so first it was us, then Michigan State, Nebraska, Michigan shut this. Now you got a bunch of games that they're trying to reschedule and do it fairly, right? Do it equitably for everybody. Can you get enough home games? Is it enough rest in between? There's a lot of stuff involved. So we're all just kind of waiting and hearing this communication about rescheduling. And then that's why you see sometimes it happens like, all right, 5 days you're playing here. Okay, got to go. And that's just how we have to adapt to it. So I think the Big Ten has done the best job of it across the country. We're really fortunate that we have the leadership that we do. And I think all the universities have all worked together. Like, we all care about each other. Like, I've reached out to Jawan when he had his issue. People reached out to us. Fred Hoiberg and I talked a while ago about what was available. And really, ultimately, it all starts about the health and welfare of all the students and the coaches. Everybody's just checking in on each other. And we're all willing to do what's best. Like, I don't really think anybody's looking to cheat anybody. Like, I want this game at home and I want that. I think it's more about, what makes sense for everybody, what's fair for everybody, and most importantly, how can we get games for the kids?
Thanks, Coach. Tandy and Luce, let's come over to you. Corey Geiger, you will finish up this session today.
Coach, after the last game, Tom Izzo had some really kind of words of praise for you, saying how hard your players play for you and how you deserve to have a shot at getting the actual coaching job here. What does it mean to you to have a Hall of Fame coach say that stuff about you?
Well, I really didn't. He said some nice things to me personally after the game as well. I didn't hear a lot of it, but, I have so much respect for Coach Izzo. He's one of the greatest human beings, first of all, and he's a basketball coach. And for him to say some positives about myself or our program, obviously it makes you feel good. I think it's pretty special when, some people out there that are considered the best of the best recognize some positive things about yourself or a program, and obviously should make us all feel good.
Corey, let's come over to you for the final question of this session.
Just a college basketball question in general. You got all these blue bloods that are not ranked. There was a stat that the 13 winningest programs ever are all not ranked in the top 25. What do you make of what's happened in college basketball this season? Why do you think some of that is?
Well, I think some of it is no fans or limited fans. I think, playing in Cameron this year, I think, is a little bit different than playing in Cameron in years past. Same with Kansas, same with Kentucky. I mean, I played at Kentucky, and it was, place was sold out, and it was an hour and a half before the game, and everybody was there. That was a tough environment to play in. I also think, the guys themselves, the players themselves, it's been a very, very difficult year for the players. So I don't know if the comfort level is different. The mental approach is different. And I also think there's parity in college basketball. I think as teams get older, I think you're seeing the older teams, the teams that can get old and stay old, are having a little bit more success than maybe in the past years when it's been the one and done. So I think they're starting to change a little bit now. And I think you can see that in programs when you have some older guys, more experienced guys. I think those guys have the opportunity to be more successful.